Most people think that shoulder mobility is about stretching the shoulder, also things like strengthening the rotator cuffs, but that's almost never the real issue, especially when we're dealing with things like overhead movements. So when a lot of people reach overhead, you see a lot of rib flare, and that means that the upper back is not extending well. And oftentimes, if the shoulder blade doesn't know how to rotate or tilt, the arm is going to feel blocked overhead. And when the arm feels blocked, the body has two options. It can either stop the movement completely, or it'll cheat and overcompensate using other muscles that aren't really supposed to be controlling that movement. That's where you see shrugging. That's also where you see neck tension. None of this means that something is damaged. It means that the system is trying to create space where it doesn't have any. This is also why so many people say their shoulders are fine one day, but then they feel awful the next. It's not necessarily because the shoulder is unstable. It's because the compensation pattern changes depending on fatigue, breathing, posture issues, and even load. Another really important thing to understand is that most people have enough range, but they just lack control of that range. And that can be seen when someone can raise their arms overhead, but their ribs flare. The moment you hear the cue, ribs down and stacked, and the neck and shoulders relaxed, suddenly that range disappears. And this alone usually tells you everything you need to know. The nervous system will not allow motion that it doesn't feel safe controlling. And that's why when people stretch aggressively or try to force a range, the body just usually tries to fight back. And that's this vicious cycle that this shoulder routine is going to break. So you'll notice with a lot of my routines that I include kind of like a reset. The reason why the reset work matters so much is because it changes the starting position. When the ribs are stacked instead of flared and the upper back can move, it gives the shoulder blades some room to move. So you're not forcing mobility, you're allowing it. Step 2 in my routine is always the controlled strength phase. And in this routine, it teaches the shoulder blade how to move with the arm. The last step in all my routines is the functional work. This is the phase after you've improved your movement and your mobility in those areas. And then you work on integrating real life movement patterns so that you can gain strength for your everyday movements. And remember, real change comes from consistency. If you're having issues with overhead movement in your shoulders, you can do this routine 3 to 4 times a week. And once you finally gain control, you can start focusing on those everyday movement patterns, all of the different movements and the patterns that you've improved.